Hello everyone, this is JPL and I'm back for another review. And today I'm going to be starting my Star Wars The Clone Wars reviews. And I'm going to start out with the Clone Wars movie. Now I just spent the last couple of hours watching that movie and taking notes in my little non-Star Wars related notebook. And I got my notes written down. First things first, I love the Clone Wars series. I grew up with it. I've got 2 Clone Wars blankets, and you could say I'm a huge nerd, but okay, let's go over just a few. I just start with my notes. The first thing I want to point out is the fact of Jabba's son. Now, it's just I'm not sure what to think about Jabba's son. I mean, how does that work? I was very confused. And he's never mentioned ever in the future Star Wars movies, so they need to bring him back on Rebels or something. And another thing is, how do Hutts reproduce? Does Jabba do something? Maybe with Gardula, I don't know. Unless they're related. The next thing I want to point out is that Mace Windu called General Grievous a droid, which that kind of struck me. Does that mean that they don't know that he's a cyborg at this point? Another thing I would like to point out is the costume designs of the main characters. The designs for Obi-Wan and Anakin are reminiscent of the Micro Clone Wars series, and I actually really appreciate that, although it just feels odd having clone armor on them, so yeah. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is Commander Cody. I am glad that they brought him back. He and Oddball are the 2 characters that we got their names in the Revenge of the Sith, and those are characters I just really like to get into. And another thing I want to talk about, I wanted to point out, is the clones now have their own personality and names, and more specifically, Captain Rex. I'm glad they introduced him. He is one of the best clones there are, and I'm glad they brought him back for Rebels. Another thing is the battle sequences in the beginning. It makes you feel like you're inside the battle. It's better than it was in the prequel movies. You're just looking at brawling against the clones and the droids. Now, another thing is the designs of the droids, tanks or other bigger droids, the Vulture droids. I don't really like their designs, more specifically the tank. I don't like how almost everything, there's a shade of blue on it. I just think there's too much blue. Okay. Okay. Another thing I want to point out is Ahsoka Tano. Going into this, I just despised Ahsoka Tano because she's just never mentioned in the prequels movies, and so she's an awesome character, but they have to mention her in the movies. And I did not like how they made Anakin a master of a Padawan, because he wanted to be a master in the 3rd one, and this just, I don't like it. Another thing I don't entirely like is the other droids. The other droids, which they don't use their design before, more specifically that little bunny rabbit droid. He's not really used at all in the movies, and so that's another thing I don't like. A thing I really love is the creative planning to do things. There were just plenty of infiltration missions in the series, and in this movie there's something really fun, which now I'm gonna question, how do the droids not see that box moving? A thing that I love to point out is they don't actually call him Kenobi the Negotiator. They don't call him that in this movie. But you see that side of him finally in this movie. More specifically when he's talking to the general of the Separatists. I love his performance in the Clone Wars. He makes the Clone Wars better. Let me see. Another thing I like is that Ahsoka is a perfect fit for Anakin Skywalker. They're both basically the same character, only Ahsoka is less whinier. Next up is the beheading of the bounty hunters. I just thought that scene was pretty graphic, and you've never seen that in a Star Wars movie before. Another thing I love about Obi-Wan is just his humor in this is just seen more in this than he does in the movies. Which, Obi-Wan was probably the best character in the movie, but in here, he's just perfect. A thing that I don't like is the personalities of the battle droids, which you don't really see that in the movies, but here it's just heavily pushed upon your face, and I just did not like that. They're much more humorous. Another thing I was not really a fan of was Asajj Ventress. We had just had no background on her. Like, unless you've watched the micro series, which I did. But if you didn't watch it, then you won't have any idea who Asajj Ventress is. And so I wish they could have explained her character more. Another thing I don't like is how Anakin was teaching lessons to Ahsoka. We've never seen him being that wise before. He's always reckless, and they probably should have just fixed that. Another thing I've always noticed is that the clones are always backed up in their corner. They'll always have to be pinned down, and then finally they get reinforcements or they break through. So there's just too much of that. Another thing I don't like is the music. The music, it doesn't feel like Star Wars, and especially it's not Star Wars when you have a guitar riff going on. Another thing is the Anakin Skywalker and Padme are terrible at hiding their marriage. Padme, teachers should just give it up to Chancellor. Like, there was really no good acting there. Then finally, Anakin Skywalker versus Count Dooku, which when I first watched this, I just really did not like. Because I always thought that Anakin only fought Dooku during the Battle of Geonosis, and then finally at the end. So you just see how much his power has grown. Which, it's fine with this. Like, he still loses, but it just shows that he's battled him a lot more. So I guess it's just a relief for him in the end. So that's all the notes I have for the moment, and overall, Clone Wars is just a really great thing. It's something I just wanted more of, clone battles. And to rate this movie, I would just rate it an 8 out of 10. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.